Hello movie lovers, Bob for Bob's Movie Review here, and so I'd like to review for you a movie I just watched called Terror Tales. Be sure to click subscribe and click on the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload great new content. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to show it some love and give it a like rating. So this one is not rated. For some reason, IMDb has the runtime listed as 1 hour and 40 minutes. This movie is 2 hours long, and believe me, it does not justify a 2-hour runtime. It is a horror movie directed by Jimmy Lee Combs. I'm not going to go over the whole cast. I'll have the cast listed in the description because there's just too many people. But it did, strangely enough, have Felissa Rose, who's played Angela on Sleepaway Camp, and Jonathan Tiersten, who played Ricky on Sleepaway Camp, but they were in separate parts of the movie, so they weren't on screen together. But it was just kind of weird. Like, I recognized him right away, and I was like, hey, wait, that's Ricky from Sleepaway Camp. And then later on in another story, it was Angela from Sleepaway Camp, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was even in this. So this is an anthology movie. To me, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So they have this kind of main story. You know, sometimes these anthologies, they'll either have a narrator or like a host, or they'll do a story between them that kind of links everything together. But this one just seems like a whole nother story that didn't really link things together. So this guy causes these people to crash their car, and he kidnaps them, and he's got one guy in his truck and 2 people in his trailer, and he's kind of driving across the country. I'm not really sure why. And then he'll just segue into a story. And I wasn't that impressed with the stories. The first one was about like a mother who was keeping her son sick all the time. And it just seemed to go on forever. The second one was about a VHS rental store, which I kind of thought was cool. I definitely liked because it had like an 80s look to it, and they really went all out on 80s. The story was okay. You know, it was definitely better than the first. And then I don't remember if there was 1 or 2 more. The problem was, you know, with an anthology movie, typically you'll have short stories that make up a 1.5-hour movie. Well, this felt like 3 or 4 1-hour movies, even though the whole thing was only 2 hours. They're like these hugely long stories that they just loosely put together. The acting in this movie is horrible. I don't know if there's any good performances in this whole thing. It's super low budget, which, you know, okay, it's super low budget. You know, they try to do things that just end up looking terrible. Like somebody getting shot in the head, and there's just like some digital blood mist, and then you can see there's no blood on them, no blood anywhere. The gun effects are terrible. Just everything is terrible. And okay, I understand it's a low budget movie, but maybe keep some of the stuff off screen if you can't afford to at least put some ketchup on their forehead or something, you know, to make it look like they got shot. Just a lot of things like this that really annoy me in low budget films, where they try to just add in a little bit of digital effects to make it look like something happened, when it just ends up looking terrible and cheap, and it kind of ruins the movie. I remember now, there was this thing about possessions was the third story. Maybe it was just 3 stories, and then plus the main story that was somehow tying them all together, even though I didn't see any way it was tying them together. So it's like 4 stories. The VHS one was definitely my favorite. I like the story, I like the characters, I like the acting, I like the look. If they had made a whole movie off of that, I would have been happy with that. But the other ones, I wasn't into them. Like I say, I just felt like all the effects were cheap. The whole production was cheap. I didn't care for the acting or the stories. So I guess this movie just wasn't for me, guys. I know I'm talking it down, but it was far from the worst I've seen. It was watchable, at least. There were a few editing issues and a few issues with sound where the voices were just too low to hear what they were saying. So all in all, this movie did have some editing and production issues, other than just being low quality. I think for a score on this one, guys, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It's watchable. It has the one good story on there. The other ones, you know, are watchable, but they just didn't do anything for me. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like rating. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos. Check out this videos. Check out my website, BOBSMOVIEREVIEW.com. And I'll see you guys next time.